All right, JFL fans, we are back. We've got a week 5 through week 14 update. We had some issues with Twitch, had some issues with things being saved, but we got as many games as we could, so let's ride. We start out in Buffalo, Baca at Dr. Noah. And Dr. Noah is going to drop back here and do something incredibly dumb by throwing into triple coverage. It's going to get bobbled and intercepted by RIP Patrick Queen. And what is this? A double turnover, you say? Double turnover in the JFL. If you're playing JFL bingo, that should finish out your card. Here we are. Dr. Noah jumps out to a 14-0 lead, and here is king of the thirst trap. Braxton Berrios is going to run this punt all the way back because Baca tried to dive from 50 yards away and make a tackle. It didn't work. Dr. Noah would go on to shut Baca out. It would be a 27-0 victory. Now we go to Tennessee. We've got Jaff at Natty D. This is going to be the shortest highlight we've ever had because this game ended up being 45-0, but here's a Jamar Chase deep ball just to hold you over till next week. Total domination by the commissioner. And here we go on to Detroit. We've got Dr. Noah at Earl. This is just a Dr. Noah beatdown today as Earl showed no mercy. Does a little shimmy right here to make the safety miss, and that is going to be a Detroit touchdown. Goes up 10-0. Kadarius Toney hitting the other version of the gritty that not all the kids know, and a little toe drag swag by Mr. JC Horn, and it was just an interception show by Lamar, which you would think with as good as he is at running, he wouldn't throw as many picks, but Dr. Noah said, you watch and find out, and Mitch Trubisky doing what Lamar should be doing and running in touchdowns. That would go on to be a 31-12 victory by Earl. And we have the Virginia Bowl, Big Tree versus Jimothy. Najee Harris gets us started off here in the rain in Seattle with a touchdown run on the old inside zone. Big Tree would answer with a touchdown and a field goal, but Jimothy comes back and gets another titty to Najee Harris. This would end up being known as the Josh Jacobs Makes Incredible Runs game. First of two beautiful touchdown runs by Mr. Josh Jacobs. What a beautiful play. And a diving interception. Xavier Howard has two of the most incredible interceptions in the JFL this year, just laying out to make these plays. And here's the other. Josh Jacob, it runs through you like Satco runs through me without having a gallbladder, and that's really fast in case you're wondering. And that would be a big-time Big Tree victory. And then we would go on to Cleveland. Wags at Baca. Wags takes an early lead, looking to go up by 14, and it wouldn't happen. Bradley Roby makes up for diving from 32 yards away versus Dr. Noah, and he is going to run this pick back and say, jump! And that is going to be a touchdown, pick 6 for Baca. And we come back. Derrick Henry doing what he does best, and that is ripping the heart out of defenses. It's unfortunate in this situation for Wags, as that will be a 14-7 lead by Baca. Not to be outdone, here comes Kareem Hunt, and that's going to be a long touchdown run by Kareem Hunt. Wags not going away just yet, and he would go away. Sorry, we were about 4 seconds into that clip before it started, but that was a game-sealing interception right there by Baca. Huge victory for Baca. We go on to New York. King Trav versus R2, division rivals. Looks like R2 comes out in a bit of man-to-man defense. And good play here by Laviska, and a massive hit stick. And Jalen Ramsey is he's going to break a tackle, and he will go all the way. And this was just the start of an absolutely dominant day by R2. There's no D2 on this one, just flat out R2, and he dominated today. He played an outstanding brand of football. really stayed in the lead for most of the game, made King Trav turn the ball over a lot. And I'll tell you something. The JFL is better when the New York Football Giants are good. Showing a little shimmy here in the end zone, but King Trav never went away. He would battle back. He kept battling back. It just was one of these days where it wasn't quite enough. But here's Jalen Hurts. He's going to drop back. He's looking left. He's looking right. And that is going to be a beautiful touchdown to Laviska. He ends up cutting it to 7. They're showing a lot of after celebration here, but that game would end with a big-time victory for R2 over a division rival. Here we go. We've got Cool Hand Luke versus Mr. Bean making his return to the JFL. Had to step away for reasons unknown, and he will return this pick for reasons of interception for a big-time touchdown by Mr. Flowers. Cool Hand Luke would answer, though. Comes back with a field goal. Then he throws a little screen pass to KJ Hamler for a big-time touchdown. And really the thing of this game is Mr. Bean really wouldn't just be put away. And Cool Hand Luke really had to battle. And the Darren Waller connection is real in Miami. Unfortunately, they will miss the playoffs, and Cool Hand Luke goes on to a big-time victory. And now we're in Gillette, the best a man can get. Big-time rivalry game here. The main bowl, Dr. Noah and Drydas. And Dr. Noah's going to run a fake punt right here. Beautifully thrown ball. Oh my goodness, on a 4th and 16. You don't see that very often unless you watch Dr. Noah play, and he does that about once a game. Squeezes that one into traffic. Good throw there by Lamar, and he is going to jump out to an early lead. But as always with Dr. Noah, interceptions. That is the theme of his losses. He turns it over constantly. And then Jonathan Taylor. The man is in MVP conversation for a very specific reason. All he does is score touchdowns and rack up lots and lots of yardage. And Desmond Ridder right there making a nice play, scrambling out. And this was just an absolute dominant game. All right, JFL fans, we lost a lot of games due to technical difficulties, so I'm going to do a quick recap. Weeks 5 through 14, here we go. Great win here by Cool Hand Luke over Baca. Great game by Cool Hand Luke. Really not much else to say about that one. Here we had Earl with a big-time win over Drydas. That was a game Drydas had circled. He needed that one to possibly fight for the 1 seed. He loses it in more of a blowout fashion than I would have thought. G-Money, dominant performance over Jimothy, who has given him trouble in the past. On to week 6. We had Jaff versus G-Money. Tell of two halves. Jaff jumps out 20-0 and can kind of go into cruise control. G-Money does fight to make it close, but it wasn't enough. Then we had Drydas versus Baca. Baca, new offense this week. Had a little more success than he did the week prior, but Drydas just too tough of an opponent. On to week 7. We had Tiki versus Natty D. Natty D misses a field goal, throws a pick 6, really shoots himself in the foot, searching for that first user win. Does not happen this week. Then we had Cool Hand Luke building off the momentum from last week. Another big-time win over Jimothy. And then we had Will Billy over Drydas in a surprising upset. We had a near upset, an all-time near upset. Jaff finds a way to gut out a victory in overtime. R2 handles Jimothy in a battle of NFC foes. The Cousin Bowl, Big Tree is victorious over G-Money. On to week 9. You're seeing me skip over the Dolphins quite a bit. That is because Mr. Bean did not join back in as the Dolphins up to this point just yet, so we're going to go ahead and skip over those. We had Tiki versus Drydas, battle of the quarterback sneak game. A lot of saltiness in the group chat over that. It was a lot of fun, but Drydas finds a way to gut out a victory. Then we had Biff versus Wags. This is a game Wags had circled, doesn't show up, just gets shut down. And this would be the beginning of a very bad trend for Wags that you will see as this update unfolds. We had Tiki versus Big Tree. Big Tree, after the game, got in touch with me and really just said, it's really fun, absolutely dominating an opponent who has really pissed you off in previous JFL seasons. And so, start of a new rivalry and the biggest height disparity in a rivalry. Tiki, a short king, and Big Tree, literally the size of a large tree. Then we had the Battle of 5D, and just Earl shows up and does what he usually does and handles business. Then a surprising upset right here. Jimothy dominates Wags, and again, like I told you, start of a really bad trend for the self-proclaimed king of smack talk. Dominant performance by Dr. Noah versus Baca. Very dominant performance. This one was in the highlights. Then we had King Trav versus Tiki. This was the Tony Pollard game. Just dominated today. 9.9 yards a carry. Heartbreaking loss here for G-Money. Loses on a game-winning kick return for a touchdown. You hate to see it. Earl goes down in very surprising fashion. This was an upset in my book. He played really bad, and R2 played really well. On to week 12. We had the Virginia Bowl, Big Tree over Jimothy. Josh Jacobs really just showed out this game. Another Cousin Bowl, Jaff, and a dominant victory, not a surprise. And again, Wags on a losing streak, which in JFL seasons past didn't happen. He has got to figure things out because he is getting absolutely dominated right now. And then Earl bounces back and wins a game 30-12 after the week before he lost a game 30-12. Week 13, Maine Bowl. Dr. Noah jumped out early in this game and then just fell apart down the stretch. This was a really fun game to watch if you didn't see this one. King Trav goes up 20-3. And then in the fourth quarter, Natty D battles back down 17-20 and then has a back-breaking interception and ends up losing the game. NFC West showdown dominant by Big If True. Cousin Bowl absolute domination by the Big Tree. And here we are again. Similar story as the last several weeks. Wags just getting dominated this time by his division foe. They did end up splitting the series. The game prior to this, earlier in the year, Wags actually won 45-12, and this was 44-13. Week 14, last week right here, we had Cool Hand Luke beating Grady in Grady, aka Mr. Bean, his first game back. Had a very close showdown right here. King Trav losing to his division foe by 10. We had Jaff getting revenge on Baca giving him a close game and just dominating 42-10. And then Biff just handling the Big Tree in not really a close game at all. A lot of turnovers in this game, but didn't really matter. The turnovers were actually even, as you can see right here, but Big If True getting a big victory. And that's going to get us caught up through week 14. Starting with next week's video, which will be week 15 through 18, we'll have player awards, JFL superlatives. We hope to see you then.